you need passion to start, but if you want to do well in this business, to me, the one thing you need is adaptability. And that's why I have this picture of a sail. Because if let's say you want to get from point A to point B, like a sailor, you're never going to have the smooth winds to just bring you across. If you plot your course, it's probably going to look like this. This is the ideal state, point A to point B. That's what everyone wants. You go to school, instantly get good results. Talk to a girl, straight away she becomes your girlfriend. Talk to a boy, straight away becomes your boyfriend, okay? Or start a business, straight away be successful. But that's not going to happen, because there's so many things that's going to happen in between your course from point A to point B. So let's take a look at this chart, okay? So assuming you're trying to get to point B, so for my case, it's really to sustain and do magic as a business. You plot your course, right, and then the winds come. Now, if you don't adapt, you're just going to get pushed by the winds. And then, eventually the wind will push you back and you go further than where you began. Because you cannot adapt to the business. So in this sense, early on I talked about the magicians who are still wearing the top hats and the rabbits and looking like clowns. These are guys who are not able to adapt to modern times. They look at the current state of things and they think to themselves, well, I've been in this business for so long, I used to be really popular, I'm not going to change, these young guys are doing something really different, but they are wrong. So eventually they become irrelevant. Nobody cares about them, nobody thinks about them. And people, when they look at them, they don't think very much of them. So adaptability is very, very important. So you see, so if you have the correct mindset, you adapt to the market, you plot your course, something changed, you replot your course, and then eventually you'll try to get where you want to be. And let me share with you a real life example. So about 7-8 years ago, I was doing this one thing that I really enjoyed, and that's street performing. You know what buskers are, right? Yeah, you heard of buskers, people doing busking. Now, the sad truth is that in about 8 years ago, 7 years ago, even right now still a little bit, buskers are thought to be people who, they cannot get a right education, they got nothing better to do, and they go on the streets to perform, hoping that people would give them money. So it's like glorified begging. So that was the thing, in Singapore especially, Then I went to the US because I went there to study for a short while on my exchange, and I saw like the street performers. Those guys are so good. They build a crowd, they perform, and then they get money. So it changed my mind. It made me think like, hey, busking is not such a bad thing. It's about doing a good show, a really good show, and then getting money after that. You can really tell how good you are by how much you get at the end of the day. Because you don't sell a ticket. If I think you're worth $10, I'll give you $10. If I think you're worth $2, I'll give you $2. If I think you're worth nothing, I'm just gonna walk away. So I thought hey, let's just go down and do busking. So I got pretty successful in it. I got my NAC, National Arts Council license, and I was invited to perform in Sentosa's Buskers Festival. And this festival has been around for at least like 12 years. But the first 10 years, they only used international performance. Because the sad truth about arts and performing in Singapore is that, international is always better than local, which is not true. Which is sadly, it's really not true. So I was writing emails to Sentosa every couple of months saying them, hey, you should get me to perform, So finally, they opened the doors, and so I was the first local magician performing at their festival. But this was also a problem because, even though I enjoyed this, I had the passion to do this, I love doing this, this was not sustainable because I had to understand the market still thought very lowly of street performing. So what happened was, my competition, they were telling like potential clients, yeah, Alexander, he's good, but he performs at the streets, so you decide for yourself how good he is. So this became like a stigma, so I knew I had to break away from this. So what I did, I was very heartbroken because I cannot do something that I love, but I adapt. I think to myself, I can't do this, let's do something else that I might enjoy as well. So I started performing corporate shows. So this is where I am, doing magic for people in the corporate events. Sometimes there was business networking events. So it made me look like, hey, this guy is high class. Very different from the street guy that you might imagine him to be. So I had to do something radically different. So this was it. And then eventually, along the way, this started picking up. And then I started doing digital magic, like magic with the iPad, magic with projectors, and stuff. And that got more and more successful. Now, I can tell you for sure that, I am not at point B right now. Because eventually, you can almost never be sure that you get to point B. Because once you think like, here I am, I've done what I want, that is the point of time you become irrelevant. You become obstinate, you become complacent, you think highly of yourself, and that's where it's over. Because even though I'm still at a good place, I know that there's going to be market forces, there's going to be competition that's going to change things. And I will not be able to fight with them unless I adapt.